Good morning. I'm on a roll again today, I think. It's all before noon, too. How about that? But, anyways, so I know I've been having a lot of conversations with folks and I've been bringing that all on here. And um, I guess I just wanted to kind of show you all that getting out and being around people, getting out and interacting with people, getting out and being personable, because that's who we are as people, right? We are people. Before anything else, we are people. And the connection with just the people that you connect with every day, going to a gas station or going to the grocery store or whatever like that, can be. You never know. You never know who you can meet. You never know what could possibly come out of these basic conversations with folks. Um, I guess the reason why I bring this one up is, you know, the truth and honesty that we as people that we bounce back and forth off each other, right? When you're with somebody, when you're in a relationship, and I'm talking about legitimate, like boyfriend girlfriend husband wife dynamic, right? Even with your colleagues, right? I mean, being honest with each other, being truthful, like laying that shit on the table, regardless of what it is, right? I mean, you should be able to be honest and open and whatever your truth is, whatever it is. I mean, you can come up with the most darkest shit that you could come up with and tell somebody if it's the honest truth. Because why? You're being honest with them. It's your truth, right? So it's not something that they should take to be offensive or take to be, ooh, No, it's something that they should be like, okay, yeah, man, they're giving me their truth. Awesome, right? Like, I was having a conversation just the other night where me and the folks that I were talking with, man, like we were laying our cards out, man. Like, we didn't care what each other was saying or what each other had to say. Just as long as we were bringing something to the table to engage, right? To interact. And I mean, some of these folks were bringing out some pretty weird shit, but I was just like, you know what, man, this is cool, right? Because it felt like the most realist and the most authentic conversation that I've had with people that I didn't know in a very long time. And these weren't friends, these weren't family, these were people I just like by being in the establishment, running into them and having a conversation. But to me, that's how easy it is. Like, I can talk with anybody, it doesn't matter what it's about. I don't care. But as long as we're interacting and as long as we're sharing in each other's company and we're doing it in a meaningful manner, right? We may not go anywhere outside of this. But like, this may be the only conversation that we'll ever have in our life. I may never see them again. But the impression of that conversation should be and it could be a very lasting one depending on how it goes. Right? And I would have figured that some of the stuff that either I talked about or they talked about would have uh, got some triggers going or got somebody upset. But no, honestly, it was the complete opposite. Like, they didn't care what I talked about. I didn't care what they talked about. Like, it was just that back and forth banter. Like, that back and forth just, hey, it is what it is, man. You're you, I'm me. Like, we both been through shit. We both have seen stuff. Like, let's just talk and be people. That's what it's supposed to be. Right? If you're in a relationship, right? And you can't be honest with that person and just bring that absolute truth to the table, then ask yourself, why am I with this person? Because believe it or not, if you're in a relationship with that person should know your secrets. There shouldn't be any secrets at all. None. Because why would you have a reason for secrets if you were actually with somebody that you wanted to be with? Right? Truth and honesty. It can kick you in the butt. Absolutely. It can make or break a relationship just by the being honest part. I've had more and more relationships and more people that I've known that have walked out of my life just because I was honest with them. It's because people can't handle the truth. Very simply, people cannot and they choose not to handle the truth. If someone is being honest with them, man, they will, man, it seems like today people will throw that in the garbage faster than anything you can possibly, man, you can tell them the most God honest truth. And there'll be somebody that will take offense to it instead of just saying, okay, hey, yeah, this person is just being truthful and honest with me. Because at that point, if you're gonna throw that away as with me just telling you the truth, and either you're gonna go your own way, whatever, then what does that say about you as a person? What does that say about where your heart is at, where your mind is at? If I'm gonna be truthful and honest with you, for example, and you're gonna shun me for it, right? It's something to think about. Because that's real world out here. Look at why our divorce rate in this country is just crazy, off the wall. Just why it's so bad. Has anybody asked the question? Has anybody even brought that to the forefront of why is this problem so bad right now? Because I know I have. I have many times, friends. Like, just about every damn situation that comes across my path, man, I'm like laying the truth out there like it's a frickin' Rolodex of ideas. And you'd be surprised how many folks just walk away or the conversation is only like 5 minutes just because of the truth aspect alone. Right? People will shut off as soon as the truth stuff starts coming out. And that's probably why people don't like to be deep. That's probably why a lot of people choose to stay on the surface level versus going into the depth. Because they know what they'll find and they know that that's where all the uncomfortable stuff is, and they will eventually have to unleash those parts of themselves, and they don't want to do that because they feel insecure about them, and they feel that people won't acknowledge that they have their stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have our stuff. Right? So let's just make sure that we understand that right now, that we all have our stuff. Right? We've all got our dark secrets, we've all got our issues, we've all got our things. There's not a person out here that doesn't have a red flag in some way, shape, or form. Right? It's a matter of what we will accept versus what is a no-no. Right? A person who has 10 restraining orders on them, for example, is probably a no-no. Right? Because that kind of stuff can be lasting. Right? A person who's been in and out of federal prison, for example, unless they're making some changes in their life, that can possibly be an end all be all. Right? I'm just saying there are examples here that would probably come up and say, probably should have some more thought there. Right? But there is no reason why we can't be open and honest with each other. That's my point here. But, friends, hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. I love you guys. Until next time.